Hi, welcome to ACTV and Cooking with Kassy. I'm Integrative Nutrition Health Coach Kassy Clifford, and I'm here today with my special guest, my very own daughter, Kelley Clifford, who's also an Integrative Nutrition Health Coach.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Today, Kelley, we are going to make 2 spring salads and lavender lemonade and a chocolate dipped strawberries for dessert.
Yum.
So let's get started. First, we're going to start with our spring green salad. Today, I'm going to put quinoa in the salad. And really, quinoa is a very versatile grain. It's a perfect protein. It's gluten-free. It's a great grain to add to salads. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to show you how to make quinoa the correct way. Quinoa is one of those grains that you don't want to soak. Normally, you do want to soak grains. You want to soak legumes and seeds and nuts to bring out the most nutrients for our body. But you don't want to soak quinoa because quinoa actually has a sap on it. So you want to make sure you rinse it very well. So we're going to just put it in a little strainer, and we're going to rinse our quinoa. The sap is very bitter, so if you've ever had quinoa and you don't really like the taste, it possibly could be because they didn't rinse all the sap off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we're going to put it in some boiling water, and it cooks 2 to 1, just like rice. We've already got the water boiling, and we're just going to... And it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to cook. And you just want it to boil in some water with a little bit of sea salt. And the reason we use sea salt is because it's full of nutrients. Whereas table salt is actually full of a lot of pollutants. It does not come from the sea, and it can have glass in it, plastic. It's fortified with synthetic minerals that aren't really good for our bodies. So you always want to use sea salt. So we're going to let that cook for 10 minutes, but we've already got some made. And this is what it looks like when it's finished. It's nice and fluffy.
How long
and nutty. About 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to set that aside, and we will use that in our salad. So now we're going to put together our pickled beets. Pickled beets are really easy to make, and it's great because you can make them a week ahead of time and just let them sit in the refrigerator. Actually, the longer you let them sit, the better they taste. So we've roasted our beets, and all these recipes, by the way, are on my website, which is CompleteHealthWithKassy.com. And when we roasted these beets, we did not peel them. You want to keep as many of the nutrients on them as possible, so we didn't peel them. But Kelley, as you can see, is chopping them in about 1-inch cubes, and she's just taken the stems off of them, the ends, the tough part, and we have already gotten the other ones, the other beets, chopped. And today we're going to add fennel. Fresh fennel, it's in season right now, it's packed with vitamins and minerals, and it gives that, it's going to give the pickled beets a little bit of a licoricey taste, which is really nice. You don't have to add the fennel, but today I thought, since we found some really great fennel at the farmer's market, that it would be a good addition. Awesome. So Kelley, why don't you show us how to cut fennel?
So you're just going to cut off the edge because it's a little bit rough, and then we're just going to slice it.
And you want to slice it really thinly because it is a very fibrous, coarse vegetable. And speaking of fiber, Kelley, what do you think about beets as far as their nutrient content?
Yeah, they're really rich in fiber, and they're also rich in pigment. Obviously, that's what gives it the really bright color, which is amazing for our liver, and it's got a lot of good antioxidants that reverse the aging process and pretty much fight all the bad stuff going on in our body. So
Yes, beets are awesome. And we're using golden beets today, and the traditional red beets. And so we just want to leave about this much of the fennel because it starts getting pretty tough here. But the fronds are really nice for garnish, and so we'll just set those aside and we might use those later. If not though, it's one of those vegetables that is great to just keep in a Ziploc bag in your freezer, and then when you're making vegetable broth or soup broth, you can bring it out and throw it in your stock. So you don't want to waste it. Cool. So we've got the fennel, which we're going to slice a little bit thinner. We've got the beets and the red onions. Today we are going to use spring onions, which look a lot like green onions, but they have a red bulb at the end. Again, they're in season. They're just fun. I love using the spring red onions. So we're going to add all this to the bowl, and we're going to add some red wine vinegar, and I always like to use organic. And we are going to add some apple cider vinegar, which is
do you want me to add the fennel?
Tons of health benefits. Sure, add the fennel. Thank you. We're going to add some honey, and I'm using local honey. It's raw, and it is right from our own, literally, right down the street, our own backyard. And the reason you want to use local honey, especially this time of the year, is it really helps with seasonal allergies. So if you have, if you're getting itchy eyes, sneezy, that sort of thing, it's great to add honey to your daily diet. Just a little bit. We're going to do some salt and pepper. Again, I'm using Himalayan Sea Salt. And do you want to grab me the pepper?
Sure.
I think it's right over there. And we're just going to mix this up. And you want to let it sit in the refrigerator for, like I said, at least a day or two. We already have one that's been sitting since, well, a couple of days now. And it turns this deep red, beautiful color.
Wow.
And it's ready to go. All the flavors have had plenty of time to meld together. So we are going to add to our green salad these lovely microgreens. Kelley, would you like to tell us about microgreens?
Yeah, so these microgreens are actually 20 times more potent than their mature counterpart. Yeah. So this one we have, I think this is kale, and then we've got broccoli, we have cilantro, amaranth, onion and garlic, and then
Carrot,
yeah.
The amaranth is really beautiful. It's a great garnish, if you can see that.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
And they all taste amazing. So when you're tasting any of these, it's sort of like eating the vegetable that it came from, but magnified a lot. Anyway, they're very yummy. So we're going to add those to our greens. And the greens that I chose today are, we've got some baby red lettuce, and this is actually arugula, but it's wasabi arugula, and it's got the blossoms on it, and it actually tastes like wasabi. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be lots of flavors in this. Okay.
Do you want me to add these in?
Yeah, and this salad is really simple. It's going to get, actually we're not going to probably add all of them. So yeah, we're just going to add some for garnish. And do you want to put some beets on top?
Sure.
And I'm just going to add a few of these little. Sorry. I didn't get the best spoon for that, but yeah, we're going to add. I forgot to put pepper in that.
Okay, stop.
Should we retake that part?
Let's go back to putting the beets on.
Okay, so
should we?
Here, let's do this.
What was the cheese? Was the
Well,
What?
Oh, I forgot to put olive oil.
Oh, no, it was because I poured all of the microgreens in, and she was like,
She just
maybe
dumped them
not all
in,
of them.
and I just wanted them for a garnish.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I see, okay.
Well, should we maybe do that part again, too?
No, because
No.
now we're trying to go too far back,
Okay.
and I can't make it continuous.
Okay, so we're doing the beets.
We're just gonna start with adding the beets. So it's, Kelley, you wanna add some beets to the thing?
Okay. Do you want me to go now?
Did I say that?
Yes, I'm sorry. Take 6.
So Kelley, would you like to add the beets?
Sure.
And we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in when we make our pickled beets. We want a little bit of olive oil, which I didn't put in yet to the marinade that I'm making right now, but we did add it to this.
How much should I put in?
So maybe a couple more spoonfuls. It's really it's personal preference. Today we're using a couple of different olive oils, and these are all local. I really like these brands, and for different reasons I'm using 2 different ones. I like this for this Biryani is a local olive oil, and it's organic. A lot of times, Kelley, as you know, glyphosate is being allowed to be sprayed all over our plants and vegetables, and it's causing a lot of health problems for us, especially in our guts. And so I always want to make sure I get organic olive oil.
And what about the fact that it's cold pressed? Does that make any sort of difference, or?
It does. It's cold pressed, so it's going to have the least amount of processing, which is also going to provide more nutrients for your body.
Keep a lot of that intact, because if they heat it, would it kind of kill off a lot of the beneficial factors to our body?
Exactly. So when we limit the processing to our foods, it definitely offers more nutrients to our bodies. So this has got a great flavor, and so we're going to use that for the beet salad. We're just going to put a little extra on top. And I also have Kale, which is one of my favorite brands as well. I get this at the farmer's market, the same place where I get the baby lettuce. The microgreens, by the way, I did not get at the farmer's market. They're not there yet, but they're actually from Lake of the Pines. A friend of mine who actually grows them in their house, and it's called True Leaf microgreens, and they're just fantastic. So it's a brand new company though, so they're not quite at the farmers markets yet. Anyway, back to the olive oil. So I love Kale because they have different flavors. And today we're going to use a mandarin orange white balsamic. This is actually vinegar, not olive oil, but they do both. So this is great. It's not organic actually, but I know Kale, I know the way that their farms run, and they do not spray. So that's another thing. You don't necessarily, not everything that you find at the farmer's market is going to be organic, but most of those local farmers do not use any pesticides. So that's just really important.
You can just have a quick conversation to see where your stuff is coming from, get to know your farmers, and it may not be certified organic, but it's probably just as good if you're having the right conversations.
Exactly. So we're just going to pour a little bit of the Meyer lemon olive oil, which just has a hint of Meyer lemon in it. Perfect for spring. And since this already has a lot of the flavors in it, we really don't need a whole lot, but we are going to add just a tad of the mandarin orange balsamic. It's optional. You really don't even need it. And today we're going to use, for the top, we're going to use a feta cheese. Now, feta is an interesting cheese because you can get cow's feta or you can get sheep. And I always go for the sheep or the goat milk if you're going to eat cheese because it's much easier on your digestive system. A lot of people can't tolerate cheese, and most of the feta that you find in the regular grocery stores are going to be cow's milk feta. So you do need to make sure that a lot of times I'll just look for the foreign brands like the Bulgarian because it's typically made with goat or sheep or both. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of that on our salad.
So pretty, all the colors.
Yeah, it is a really pretty salad. Do you want to sprinkle just a few of the herbs on the microgreens? And we're going to use sunflower seeds. So I like to cook a lot with nuts and seeds because they are so full of many vitamins and minerals that we are lacking in our daily diet. So today we're going to put a little bit of sunflower seeds on our green salad.
Also high in good fats too, right?
Yes, yes, great point. High in omega-3s and our 6 vitamin A and folate, a lot of different vitamins and minerals. So it's ready to eat.
Awesome.
Now we're going to make a kale salad. Now I know what some of you are thinking, yuck, I've never had a good kale salad. But after this one, I think you will be surprised. So kale is dark leafy green, which means it's got tons of vitamins and nutrients in it. And I'm going to show you how to de-stem it, because the stem, as you can see, is it's very hard and it doesn't taste good. It's great to save for juicing if you like to juice things, or like I said before, you could stick it in a Ziploc bag and stick it in your freezer and use it for vegetable broth or any kind of soup broth. It's great to keep around for things like that. So we're going to break up the kale into pretty small pieces, bite-sized pieces. But again, kale is very fibrous, extremely fibrous, which can be great, but it can also be hard to chew and a little bit bitter. So we are going to massage the kale. And Kelley is going to show you how to massage the kale while I make the salad dressing. And this salad that we're making is inspired by Andrew Weil, Dr. Andrew Weil's restaurants, and he's got a chain of them. They're called True Foods Kitchen, and I love his recipes. They're all very nutrient dense. All of his recipes are anti-inflammatory and just great healthy food and tasty as well. So as soon as we get these broken up into tinier pieces, we're going to massage it like this, and she's going to take over. But we're going to do that for about 1 to 3 minutes.
Do you massage it with oil or just plain?
No, I like to do it plain because then your hands don't get all yucky. And you can really use your muscles because you want to soften it. And so, okay, so now we're going to make the Parmesan. This is a vegan Parmesan that we're going to put on top. So the vegan aspect means there's no animal products at all in it. But we're going to be using some ingredients that actually taste like cheese. So we're using nutritional yeast, and nutritional yeast is packed with tons of great vitamins and minerals. It's got niacin. It's just fortified.
B vitamins, right?
Oh, tons of B vitamins. Thank you, Kelley. No, I'm glad you said that, because yes, that's one of the biggest. And you do need to be careful when you're buying nutritional yeast, because there's a lot of yeasts on the market that are actually fortified with synthetic vitamins. And so this one is, I think the company is called Foods Alive, and it's not fortified with anything. It's just nutritional yeast. So this is what gives it the nutty flavor. We are going to put it right in the food processor. I like to use a Cuisinart food processor, but any food processor will do. We're going to add some olive oil. And again, this recipe is on my website if we're going too fast for you. We're going to add some toasted pecan pieces. Again, we chose raw organic pecans, and we did toast them a little bit just to bring out that nutty, cheesy flavor. And we've got the nutritional yeast. We're going to add some salt, and then we are going to be on our way. Again, we're using Himalayan Sea Salt. We've got a couple of different salts here, though, that we really like to use in the kitchen. We've got Celtic and a black salt from Hawaii.
Ooh.
And the reason we like to use different salts is because they actually have different flavors. Some are saltier than others, but they come from different regions of the world, and it's really good to get those different minerals from different parts of the world into our diet. So we're going to add some salt.
Does the black Himalayan or the black Hawaiian salt have charcoal in it, or what?
It does, yeah. It's from the lava there. So it does, and it even adds more nutrients. Kelley, could you hand me that pepper? Because I don't want to forget to put the pepper in this time. Thanks. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to turn this on. It's going to maybe be a little bit loud, but if you would notice that when I'm turning it on, I'm not going to keep it on. I'm actually going to pulse it. We don't want it to be like sand. We want it to be a little bit coarse, actually quite coarse, like pea size. So to give it a little bit of texture. So when I pulse it, it allows it to not just be pulverized. So maybe like 10 times. And you've got this little mixture. And it's going to be very nutty, but also tastes like cheese, even though there's not cheese in it.
Very
kind of cool. Yeah. So we are going to make our salad dressing, and I'm going to just put it in this jar. Mason jars are so great for so many things, storing things, and so we're going to make this with, we're going to use lemon juice. This is just fresh Meyer lemons, and we're going to put about 1/4 cup in. We've got 2 garlic cloves, minced. And we've got our olive oil. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup. And then we're going to add some more salt, because I love salt. And pepper, of course. That's another thing about salt is I think salt has gotten a bad rap for a long time because maybe your cholesterol's high and you're struggling with weight, and you go to your doctor and they say, well, don't eat sodium. So you automatically think, oh, that's salt. But actually what they're talking about is processed foods. Oh. The sodium in processed foods can be really hard on our systems. But this kind of salt is actually not that salt at all. It's really good for you. So we put everything in there. I'm going to put the lid on, and we're just going to shake it up. And then we'll put a pouring spout on it, and we can keep it in the refrigerator that way.
Can you use it again another day if you make extra?
Oh yeah, that's what's so great about it. I usually make, great question by the way, I usually make my salad dressing at the beginning of the week and keep it in the refrigerator and just use it all week long.
Cool.
And it's all done. So now we're going to assemble our salad. We've got our kale, and we're going to use dried cranberries. And these cranberries are not sweetened. Most all of the cranberries that you get in the grocery store are sweetened, and we really, to keep the inflammation down, we really want to stay away from processed sugar. So today we are using
craisins.
Apple juice sweetened. Yes, craisins, apple juice sweetened cranberries, and these are organic. So we're gonna. You want to sprinkle them?
Sure.
And then we're going to add, it's not in the recipe, but I like to add avocado to my salad. It makes every salad taste good, and it's packed with good fats too, and other minerals and vitamins. I don't know where my knife went, but
here it is.
Great. There's a knife. So we're just gonna put some avocado in there. assemble our salad. And again, this salad is very versatile. You can put the quinoa in either salad. So I've left the quinoa out because people can put it in as they like. Again, it's going to add a lot of protein to your salads, and it's going to add just an array of great vitamins.
Where did you find that spout to fit on the mason jars? That's pretty cool.
Oh, I don't remember. Probably Amazon. So we're going to dress it before we throw in our nuts. We're just going to sprinkle our nut mixture on the top. So we'll just toss it with our, and you can add berries to this salad. Actually, berries, whatever's in season really. We're just doing the cranberries today, but you could also, since strawberries are in season, you could add fresh strawberries, and that would be really yummy. Okay, and now it's ready for our nut mixture. Next, we're going to make chocolate dipped strawberries and lavender lemonade spritzers.
Yum.
And now we're going to make a quick, easy dessert, and it's actually healthy, chocolate dipped strawberries.
So when we were kids, we used to make chocolate dipped strawberries with your basic chocolate chip. So how is this different?
Good question, Kelley. So, as you know, I don't like to use refined sugars and flours when I cook. So we are going to use we're still going to use chocolate chips, but they are stevia sweetened chocolate chips. So I prefer this brand. It's dark chocolate. It's a great source of all kinds of good minerals and vitamins. And stevia does not raise your blood sugar. It's zero glycemic. So it's really great for people who may have high blood sugar, diabetes, things like that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So this is how we're going to do it. We don't need a double boiler. So for chocolate dipped strawberries, you need to have a double boiler. I've never actually owned a double boiler, and I think this works just as good. So I want to show you what I like to do. I take a bowl that's going to fit inside of a pan. I'm only putting a small amount of water in the pan. I don't want the water to hit the bottom of the bowl. That's really important when you're melting chocolate. So you want to let it sit there, and you're going to turn it on in medium heat, just enough to steam. You're basically steaming your chocolate. You're low heating it. And so it's not going to burn that way because it's just steam melting it. So what we have here is we have the chocolate chips. So we're going to use cacao, which is basically chocolate, but it's unprocessed raw chocolate, and it's full of antioxidants. This is one of the best superfoods you can eat, actually. So we've got cacao butter and we've got cacao paste, and this has the great fats in it. This has the fiber, and so we're getting the best of we're getting the best of the cacao bean, which is the raw, in its rawest form, chocolate. These are little cacao beans, and you can actually eat them. And they have the little nibs in the middle, which are kind of nutty. And this is where all of this comes from, even the chocolate chips. We're also going to add some vanilla bean powder to our melted chocolate mixture. And vanilla bean powder is just the purest form of vanilla. It's basically the ground, the inside of the vanilla bean. So there's, when you buy vanilla extract, a lot of times there's extra fillers and solvents and things in there. This is just the pure vanilla bean, which is also a superfood. It's packed with all kinds of great vitamins and minerals. We're going to use grade B maple syrup to sweeten it. The stevia is already in the chocolate chips, but it doesn't make it quite as sweet as we want it because we're adding the extra chocolates. We also want to add some grade B maple syrup. And grade B is less processed than the other forms of maple syrup. And you always want to look on the back and make sure that the ingredients say just syrup or whatever your cooking with. If you have a lot of things in there that you can't pronounce, you probably don't want to eat them. So we've got some sea salt, a little dash of salt we're going to put in. And then my favorite additive to many things throughout the day is it's called Bulletproof Brain Octane Oil, and it's basically an MCT oil, which is it comes from coconut oil. So it's a really great form of fat, and it basically feeds your brain. So if you struggle with brain fog or anything like that, you want to add those great fats into your day. You can put it in your coffee, your tea. Today we're putting it in our chocolate. So we're just going to take our strawberries after all the ingredients are melted, and we're going to put them on a parchment sheet and refrigerate them for about an hour, and they're ready to go. And we already have some prepared right here. So now we're going to finish our lunch off with a lavender lemon spritzer. And first off, we're going to make the lemonade, which you can have plain, or you can add sparkling water like we're going to do today and make a spritzer out of it.
Yum.
So we have our fresh lemon juice. We're just going to add a little bit more. Kelly, do you mind getting those lemons juiced? And we're going to add our lemon juice. And I like to use lemon oil and lavender oil to add that extra flavor, but it's also adding nutrients because we are using therapeutic grade, which is different than the ones that the essential oils that you can get at the health food store. You really want to be careful when you're using essential oils to eat with, that they need to be food grade. So today we're using these ones, and we're going to put 1 drop of lavender in this small pitcher and about 4 drops of lemon. We're going to add some stevia to sweeten it, but we're also going to add some local honey because, again, when you're dealing with springtime, especially in Auburn, it's good to add some local honey to your diet. It's a great superfood, but it also is a great sweetener and a helper of seasonal allergies. So we've got our honey in there, and I think that's good, Kelly. A couple tablespoons of honey. I'm going to add these for looks. Garnish. Cold filtered water. And then our lemon juice, we don't want to forget that. Best part. We might need to add a little bit more. We're going to mix this up and add our sparkling water, but we forgot to get a tall spoon. A tall spoon for mixing.
I knew, I saw it, and I was like, what do I put my finger in there?
Here it is. A tall spoon saves the day. Okay, so we're going to stir it up. Kelly, would you like to stir? And I'm going to add our beautiful garnish from the garden. Got to get that honey, because that likes to stick there. And this is lavender from our garden, so we are going to put it in here for a garnish.
I've never seen the flowers on lavender like that. Is that a different kind of lavender?
It is a different kind. There are several different kinds of lavender, and this kind is the kind with the pretty purple flower. I don't know. Maybe it's French, maybe it's Spanish. I'm not sure. Okay, just pour that right in there, Kel.
Whoa.
Just want a little for flavor.
Oh. Cheers.
Cheers. Very refreshing.
Yeah, super good.
So to sum up our meal that we made today, we made some great salads, we made some chocolate dipped strawberries, and we made some lavender lemonade spritzers. a simple, nutrient-dense, very tasty lunch.
Yum, can't wait to dig in.
And I hope that you join us on Auburn Community TV for my next show, which is going to be on dinners. And we're going to keep it simple. That's our theme. We're going to keep it nutrient-packed and simple, and I'm really excited about that.
Thanks for having me.
See you next week.